Hey, Roger Martin here from Billings, Montana. QAnon and his team, I don't know how they put all this stuff together, but it takes some serious understanding of what's going on with the posts. And these are multifaceted messages. And that comes out to channel 8chan. It's just unreal, some of this stuff. Just hard to wrap your head around all of it.
Basically getting into that aspect of things. And so in total, what we see here is that when Congress passed the Federal Reserve Act, the 23rd of December, and remember this date, you guys, and 1913 also, as you can see, uh, basically.
So this is, I don't know all about this act, but they're starting to unfund the government and the Federal Reserve. We're starting to break away from the Federal Reserve. That's why this is so important. Let's get Q drops factoids on Rothschild. So this is all about getting away from the Rothschilds and the World Bank and the Federal Reserve, which is connected. They're one and the same.
Pit of money. If we look at the Rothschilds, which between Q post 136 to 138, under that banner, the Rothschild family name, you have 85%, 85.5% of the UN recognized countries, they have ownership or control of the banks.
85% of control of the banks. It's just unreal. And we need to break totally away from that. And we are. That's what all this is about, following the money. Some of these posts are pretty and crazy on their who has the money. This is the most important point that no one has talked about. Once they manipulate and get the money from us that goes to these different foundations and these different bills, then who really gets the money? See, that's the problem. We don't know who's really getting money after these funds are appropriated to these bills. And they know this. They know this. Who has the money after these bills are passed? And that's something that's never really been talked about in our government, and it must be in the future. It must be in the future. Talked about who gets the money after these bills are passed. And he's all talking about following the money, where it goes, where it ends up, who has it, and who doesn't. And how Saudi Arabia is affected on this side, this pyramid side, the pyramid on the dollar. This is all about monetary control.
I expected something out of this, but the Council on Foreign Relations was founded on 1921. 1921 adds to 30.
Council of Foreign Relations. Now remember, that's part of this that's connected together. Uh, my old religious teacher at a private university started to teach us in 1983 about the Council of Foreign Relations and how they had controlled the International Monetary Fund, how they had controlled, either one had controlled the secretaries of state and a lot of our bills that passed and a lot of the funds that went through those bills. This is much more than can go into in this little video, but for almost 100 years, they've controlled, over 100 years, they've controlled where our money goes and who controls it since 1913. It's past 2013 now, but this has all started up around the early 1900s and is still going on today, and they have got us by the cojones, let me tell you. And he dropped a lot of this information, and here is the two circles, 69, and they're controlling all this and all this these Rothschilds and the freaky ceremonies and their power plays. It's just unreal. Here's Soros when he's younger, and Rockefeller, probably because of the shadow here, this is probably all a made-up figure, and this probably isn't who this really is. Probably isn't Rockefeller. It's probably someone else, and they've just dropped this picture in here using some Photoshop techniques. This is probably Obama. They think with the earshot here, let's go to this. This is probably Obama's ear, they think. But we're getting into the FISA 1 and FISA 2 warrants, and all this goes back to the money trail and who's getting the money. And this is all about trillions of dollars of control going to these elite groups.
Leading into FISA 2, Loretta Lynch leading into Hussein.
Wow.
So let's hear this again. They think this is, what was it, Obama's hand? I don't know.
The nails and the dark spots on the first knuckle, right? Why is that important? Whose hand is that?
Oh, wow.
Okay. That doesn't do it for you? Look at this. What does that look like?
What? I didn't even
Bob?
notice that there.
Who's that?
Wow.
Okay. Now, let's put this into context. Okay. Q 436, 2630, 2623. Insurance.
This is all Q's information, of course. And this all has to do with the money.
WikiLeaks leading to Hussein, leading into FISA 1, Pyramid leading to Hussein, leading into FISA 2, Loretta Lynch leading into Hussein.
Wow.
That was an eye-opener.
Yeah. Man, good eye.
And there's more to it. I mean, I don't need to press it any further, I don't think, but just for grins, look at the direction the Rothschilds are looking at, picture yourself as the cameraman.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking at the camera. Look at the eyes of Soros. They're looking at different directions, right?
Yeah.
So am I saying that this was Hussein's hands? Yes. Am I saying that this is Soros's hand? I cannot tell. I've looked and scoured for images of Soros signing, particularly at that age, because he's pretty gray now. But this was, needless to say, this was a photoshopped image. And I think all three subjects, Soros may be in the original background, but Rothschild was put on here over the person that was actually the signature, because look at the shadows. It's not proper shadowing for the camera. This is definitely.
This is a Photoshop, and this is the wrong shadow. And this is a Rothschild, excuse me. I said Rockefeller. But it's just crazy stuff.
Hussein's a cropped version or like say a Photoshop version of his ear, but
this is all really about the money and who's in bed with who, and this is why this photo was made, because these three characters are all dealing with money and trillions of dollars.
Okay.
So I started out with what caught my eye was the 1 of 22 that led me down as the interesting statement to make, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that leads to that, leads to that, leads to that. That leads to 17. The one side of the pyramid was removed.
Now he says the one side of the pyramid was removed, and that was with the Saudis. Go back here.
All of them tied together. Even though we did the numbers and I show you how the sums and all that, when you put it together like this, you can see that they're all connected to these numbers.
Wow.
Follow the money, the three stack.
Soros, Rothschilds, and the House of Saud. They're a pyramid. They're all connected together. And the Rothschilds are in the middle of that. Soros is here. Rothschilds, House of Saud. Now I said the House of Saud on this one side has been knocked down. This process has already started worldwide. This is pretty incredible news, if it's accurate.
We know from the issues that went on in Saudi Arabia that the House of Saud was replaced, was removed from the picture. And then Q 299, which is the only one that he brings up. The first line on that guy was martial law in Saudi Arabia, and he points to this being the present. The one side of the pyramid was removed.
So this is the martial law thing that was done in Saudi Arabia to remove the House of Saud and the money stuff there. That's why this martial law was going on. And now whether Trump instigated this or encouraged it, I don't know. Whether they did it on their own with some help of us, I don't know. But this was the news that no one talked about, the martial law in Saudi Arabia and the House of Saud going down. No one was really talking about it in detail, except Q and some other individuals.
There goes the House of Saud.
Wow.
That go back to the pyramid top.
Anyhow, we're going to leave this alone because this other side is coming down, and we're connected with that side, and the Rothschilds are too. It's coming down. This world order and the World Banks, International Monetary Fund, Trilateralist Convention, it's all coming down, and they're all connected, and this is going on worldwide. People want their sovereignty back. They want their nations back. They want the control of their money in those nations back. They want their borders back. And Trump and others are leading the way in this revolution worldwide. This is bigger than just what's going on in our own country. It's going on in Europe. It's going on in the Middle East. It's going on in China, though we don't hear about it much. It's going on in Central and South America and Africa. All over. All over. Finish Roger Martin from Billings, Montana. Good day.